This is a list I made of all the mistakes not to make when you're running a business. So make sure that when I put out a video, you have to watch it, because one day you're going to get to a point where you're going to run ads to your website, or maybe you're already doing that. What if you get no sales from that ad? What if you get no customers? That is exactly what happened to me when I ran my first ad in 2019. I ran a phone case business called Puppy, and it was just yet another phone case brand. And I did the worst thing you could possibly do for marketing. I went onto the Instagram post and I hit that boost post button, and I was expecting to get so many sales. I put maybe like $20 a day for a few days, and I got absolutely nothing. A few website visits, a few favorites, a few likes, but nothing. You know why? Because when you boost a post, that's all it does. It just boosts a post. So never ever use that boost post button, and make sure you watch this video all the way to the end so you don't make a single one of these mistakes that I'm about to tell you here. Number one, your business should not fall into the yet another category. That is when you start your business, not because you see a gap in the marketplace, but just to have a business, to have your own sort of functioning business. Like, say when someone wants to get into vending machines and they think all you need to do is plump a few vending machines around your city and then you're generating income. Or a lot of people who want to start their own clothing line. There needs to be something that makes your business unique and makes it the absolute best. So when you go around telling people about your business, they're not going to try and compare it to all of these other people who've been there for years and years and years. There's something that's made your business completely unique. And I'll tell you about the Puppy phone case brand that I started. When I started Puppy, it was just another phone case brand, just cases with cool designs and whatever. And it wasn't even designs at the time. It was like photos that I took, and I realized that no one wanted photos that I took. That's not what made them unique. That didn't actually fill a needed gap in the marketplace. So what I had to do was figure out what people wanted. And one of those things is that the phone looks good and is protective. So we switched to a dual layered supplier and had a guarantee that if the phone breaks in a Puppy case, the company will pay for your phone repair, because that's how confident we were in the supplied case. That brings us to number two. There are two very important sides to a business. One is the fulfillment part of the business, and the other is the attention and marketing side of the business. You can have the fulfillment all set up, but if no one's seeing your business, if no one knows about it, you will not get any sales. So do not neglect the attention and marketing side of your business. You need to learn how to get attention so that as a byproduct, you are driving traffic to your website, and that way you are generating sales. Now that's going to depend on what platform you choose. So if it's TikTok and Reels, then it's going to be a retention-based game. If it's YouTube, you can lean more into the topic SEO. Number three is do your customer research. So when you are building your landing page, you are going to want to present it in a way that speaks directly to the customer. And that is a job that you need to get good at, because you are not your customer, right? You are the person supplying the product or service to the customer. So what you have to do is you have to go online and look at places where people are talking. That can be Reddit, that can be YouTube comment sections. You can get ChatGPT to do this research for you in its deep research mode, for example. But one of the things that I like to do is look at your competitors' products and look at all the negative reviews that they're getting. Look at your competitors' negative reviews and gather them into like a text edit file, and look at complaints that people are having and put that in the text edit file as well. And ChatGPT all about your product and have it give you some examples on how you can write your copy for it to be better. For example, there was a candle business that I did a Loom audit for, and their main product was a completely foreign concept to me because I don't know much about candles. I know that this one is a vanilla and caramel candle, and I like it. It smells like, and I just bought it from Woolworths, right? But the title of this candle was the triple scented candle. And the thing was with this copy is none of it really went into why this candle is different, or none of the pain points that customers of this existing candle had experienced. So what I did is I looked into the competitors. So I think there was one from Mecca, found the negative reviews because this competitor's candles were at a very, very high price, but the smell was not very present at all. So I took all of the bad reviews across multiple different competitors, put it into ChatGPT and put this customer's descriptions and copy into ChatGPT as well. And ChatGPT spat out some excellent copy. It was still kind of AI-ish, but the headline was finally a candle you can smell. And if you can imagine being a customer and reading finally a candle you can smell and just having that stand out to you, then it's going to do good things for your conversion rate. So do your customer research. Number 4 is don't sell your product. Sell the world where the customer has access to your product. A lot of people focus solely on, oh, we have all these features, we have this, we have that, we have this, we have that. And that doesn't really address what the customer is thinking, right? So there was a really famous example with the iPod, and in all of its advertising, instead of saying how many gigabytes it was and how long it lasted, it would say things like, this device can store 1,000 songs in your pocket. And that is a clear example of what that world looks like for the customer without going into the features and all of the gimmicks that you have to unravel and translate into a human experience. Number 5 is make scrolling an experience. And this is something that I don't see often enough with Shopify stores. Now with Shopify, you can set product templates so that you can go anything that is within this category, use this product template, and you can build that page up so that you can show off certain benefits and certain things about your product that will transform your customer's life in specific ways. Instead of what most people do is try and squeeze every little feature into the one tiny little description box that Shopify gives you. You don't need to do that. You don't need to compile a bunch of text and a bunch of paragraphs, because reading is a cost of effort. And the more effort that it takes to consume something, the less people are going to consume it. So make the scrolling an experience so that it's less effort information about your product. Now I'm running out of hands because I like to hold the mic in front of my mouth. Number 6 is have a very clear call to action. Tell them exactly what you want them to do. Guide them where you want them to go. If you are touring a gigantic mansion, and let's say that mansion is your website, do not just leave the door open and go, have fun guys, see for yourself. Take them where you think you want to go, or ask them questions where you think they want to go, and have a very clear call to action. So say if we're talking about your homepage, have a hero product and what is most likely the thing that your customer will like, and show them that. And make your CTA specific to new customers. Your call to action should not be to leave a review. You can email your customers after and get them to leave a review. The most important thing is that your customers have a clear call to action, that is to do what you want them to do, and that can be to book a call, to buy your thing, or to give you their name and email address. Now we're up to number 7. Unless you are a billionaire or you've raised billions of dollars for your company, do not be the affordable option. Do not set prices at what you think the customer will be happy to pay. Do not set your prices to be, oh, this is affordable. This is something that anyone can pay. If you want to make a lot of money, you need to charge a lot of money. And something that you need to be okay with is the fact that some customers are not going to be able to afford your price. And it doesn't matter what your price is. Some people are just not going to buy it. I had a $3 a month subscription service on a app that I had, and still some people complain about the price. It doesn't matter what your price is. What matters is your ability to make your product or service desirable at that price. For example, I want a spec'd out 2025 Porsche Cayenne. I think those look sick. However, I cannot afford that. But that doesn't mean Porsche has done anything wrong. That means they've done everything right in their marketing material and their product design, etc. So I do not want to see any super duper low prices, any clear selling points being, we are just such a cheap option, because you need tons of buying power to even avail you that option to be in that competitive market in the first place. I do not want to see anyone selling a physical product for a single digit price. So if you look at your product or service and you think, yeah, anyone can afford this, or yeah, most people would be happy paying this, raise your prices and learn how to market so that you can sell your product at that price. That brings us to number 8. I think I've already mentioned this to some extent, but instead of focusing all of your energy trying to sell it, focus a ton of your energy making people want it. This brings us to point number 9. Always gather data. Find out what your customers are thinking and asking. There are a few ways that I do this, and one is I always have a chatbot on my landing pages. I use a service called Chatbase, and that is where you can train a little ChatGPT to answer questions about your business, but you can also look in the back end and see what people are asking it. And when you see a question is coming up a lot and a lot and a lot, you can update your website to address these questions rather than putting it in a little frequently asked box like everyone else. You can update your website to address these questions, especially if you have a good answer to these questions, and it will be like you're reading the customer's minds. Another thing I like to do is have a contact form, and you can call people on the contact form. Do not be afraid to pick up the phone. You can do email and whatnot, that's fine. But I like to call people and have a conversation and see what people are thinking. And that is often such a better way of understanding what people are thinking in relation to your product or service, so that you can update your website, update your web page to address their concerns. Now, when you get their contact details, that brings us to point number 10, and that is to build a contact list. That is an email list or an SMS list if you must. People do still read emails, they just don't read shitty emails. So make sure that whenever you push out an email, that it is worth their time, that is either entertaining, and every now and then you can push for a sale, but make sure that not everything you do is just screaming at everyone, yelling at them to buy your things, because then people are not going to want to read it, because all you're emailing them is ads, and people don't go into their inbox for ads.